boy kills a man and accuses his twin brother of the murder, and the innocent brother ends up institutionalized while his psychotic twin goes free. 10 years later, the innocent twin escapes, which triggers his brother into killing again. This week, we watched the Thanksgiving-themed Blood Rage.
Groovy.
It's just a creepy movie. It definitely creeps you out for sure.
Somebody has to be perfect, so it might as well be me.
Talk about deja vu.
You live to tell the tale.
You gotta think like a werewolf.
It's the Slashers and Screamers podcast. All right, welcome to another edition of the Slashers and Screamers podcast. I am one of your many co-hosts, Billy Graves. Of course, you know my other co-hosts, the Godfather of Droll James and the Memphis Maniac Rick. What's up, fellas?
What's up, man?
Same old same.
I'm having deja vu, Bill.
No deja vu here. This never happened. But we are one short as Casey is MIA off in the mountains killing bears or something. I don't know what she's doing. But she'll be with us in the next segment as we review the flick you all came to talk about. But first, we've got a very special guest. And as James alluded to, deja vu. We tried to do this once before, but hey, some technical issues on probably my behalf prevented this thing, it was a gold mine by the way, prevented this thing from being captured in time. But what we've got today, who we've got today, very special guest. He is the director, screenwriter for Coherence and the upcoming project Shatterbelt, something we're all excited about. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome Mr. Jim Burkett. Jim, welcome.
Oh, thank you so much. I had such a good time last time that I just had to stop back in.
You know what? That's music to my ears because, you know, nothing is more frustrating than, well, you know what? Call it what it is. Wasting people's time. I'll waste Rick and James's time all day. I don't care. They can't get rid of me, you know? I don't want to waste your time, though. And that's really important. So, you know, the reason that we're here is because of the movie Coherence. We reviewed this film a few episodes back, loved it, came across the social media for the movie, hit it off, and got this interview set up because you've got something coming up on the horizon that we're going to talk about in a little bit. But if you don't mind, I'd like to dig into your mind a little bit on Coherence.
Great. Talk about that all day.
Well, you probably do, you know, when you're not out shooting this new project, which, I mean, from what I'm reading about it, it looks like the most amazing thing ever. Very Twilight Zone-y, but we're going to get into in a second. But Coherence.
Yeah.
I found this film on a list of the top 20 horror flicks on Hulu.
Oh, wow.
So I wanted to find something for us to review that none of us had seen yet. Just kind of, you know, fresh eyes on a fresh project. Came across Coherence.
Yeah.
Absolutely loved it. And when you look at a film like this, you look at what sets it apart. And for me, what set it apart was the fact that this film was completely unscripted. Improv, if you will.
Yeah.
How did you settle on that idea? Was that something that you wanted to do from the beginning, or was it a budgetary thing?
Oh, no, I'd always wanted to experiment with that. You know, I had worked in film on other people's films, and I'd directed some commercials and some TV and some short films. And I always thought to myself, you know, I could really go a lot faster if I could just get rid of two things. If I could get rid of the crew and the script, I could really just make a movie. And so I had this chance to make this film in my living room, and I thought, well, I might as well try that experiment. I've always wanted to try it, just get rid of everybody and just me and some actors. And it worked because, you know, obviously the goal was to get that kind of natural dialogue, that naturalistic rhythms. And the only way you can really do that is to let them talk to each other for real. And that's why we got rid of the script.
And Rick, you had the question earlier about why this film was done in your own home, right? Didn't you ask that the first time around?
Yes, yeah. I asked him, you know, how did he come up with, you know, hey, I'm going to shoot this in my own house?
Well, that's an easy one. We didn't have any money. And, we said we want to make a micro budget film. You got to use what you've got. And I had a living room, and I had some friends who could act, and I had a camera. And I was like, that's it. Like we're going to have to create something out of that. And I thought, well, the Twilight Zone, they didn't have any money, and they created a feeling of cosmic weirdness. And so that was really all we needed. And I couldn't have done it any other way. Once you go to a location, then the costs just start piling up. So in this case, it was the right thing to do.
Oh, well, nothing's free, shooting from home's not free either because you got your mortgage. But to me, the improv part of that was huge. And compound that with, I'm making this at home. This feels like a project that really, I'm sure there are projects like this that have been done before, but nothing that I've seen done this well. Okay. There was a TV show that I followed a good while back called 10 Items or Less. 10 Items or Less was a Netflix, I don't think it was a Netflix series, but I saw it on Netflix. And it was a largely improv television show, comedy. Improv comedy is probably just the other side of the coin of improv drama, but the guys you have, they did it well. And this film is huge for many different reasons. But it's not just huge, here in the United States. You mentioned that you've got some international, probably a bigger international following than domestic, yeah?
Yeah, we found out just a couple months ago. It's one of the biggest films in China. It's like on this list of top 250 movies of all time. And so we have this gigantic Chinese audience that, everybody under 30 who's into films and into kind of weird stuff knows about Coherence, and it's great.
Well, when you're talking about one of the most densely populated countries in the world, that demographic can probably pile up on you really quick. You get China on your side, you're probably doing well.
Well, I shouldn't say financially. We don't get a penny for all those millions of people that watch it in China. Fortunately, they have ways of watching it that don't have anything to do with actually funneling money to us. But
for now.
we appreciate the support. We appreciate the audience, nevertheless.
Well, my thought is it's, maybe Coherence doesn't get that financial push from China, but maybe what's coming up. They know that Jim Burkett worked on Coherence, and they know what's coming up with Shatterbelt. I mean, if a fraction of that tunes in, we're talking, more success, right?
Oh, that's our dream. That's our dream. We're doing it again. We're getting the band back together. We're just scrapping some money together, getting some cameras, getting some friends who can act. And this time we're making a little series of short films, all with these, micro budgets and big cosmic ideas, and kind of doing, our own season of science fiction mind benders. And maybe 2 days to shoot an episode, maybe 2.5 days. Some of it's improvised, and we're just winging it the whole time, just winging it.
Well, Shatterbelt, maybe not Shatterbelt specifically, but this project, this is something that's been, per your quotes, something that's been forming in your brain for years, piecing together story ideas that revolve around consciousness and the innate strangeness living in a physical world. Well, maybe listeners hear that and they say, well, this isn't quite horror and this is a horror podcast. Well, this is strange and unusual, and you, Jim, and your works are quite strange and unusual, and we dig it. So there's always a place for Shatterbelt on this podcast.
I love that. And yes, it is not exactly horror. It's more like weird Twilight Zone-y stuff, but you never know. When we talked last time, James pitched an idea about Bigfoot, and, I think that's got to work itself in there somehow, and that could get very bloody and very horrific very quickly, especially if he plays Bigfoot.
I think he's been doing that in his basement for years, Jim.
I'm always available to play Bigfoot.
That's why I'm back, you guys. I mean, we got to make this happen. We need a season 2, season 3, season 4. Every season needs a Bigfoot episode.
Well, you brought up the Twilight Zone, and the Twilight Zone really wrote the book on this type of, this type of undertaking, this type of project, the tones, and maybe you don't find yourself in a state of horrific shock when you watch The Twilight Zone, but you continuously are thinking about what's happening next. So that brings me to what we've got coming up. Okay, so in the episode bio for this specific episode, you're going to find a link to the Kickstarter for Shatterbelt. Now, we've got until, I think, unless it's been pushed back, November 19th. Is that correct, Jim?
That sounds right.
So
we're not... we got a few weeks, just a couple weeks, yeah.
Yeah, so we're not where we need to be, and we definitely need the support. And, yeah, I'm looking at the numbers. I mean, this gets done if, we reach the goal before Friday, November 19th, it looks like. So a lot of the work is done, but there's so much that you want to add to this project to make it right, I guess. And you've got, you said that you were in the middle of shooting right now. Or you're in the middle of shooting, episodes for Shatterbelt, yeah?
Yeah, we shot the first one with Patton Oswalt about a month ago, and then we just shot the second episode just last week, and that had 2 actors from Coherence in it, Emily Baldoni and Hugo Armstrong.
Beardy.
Trying to make some more, and thank you for mentioning it. It's really just the numbers. Anybody, even if you can only give a couple dollars, it helps because it's the number of backers that gets you sort of in the algorithm in front of people. So
for sure,
if there's any support at all, we appreciate it.
Yeah, no different than TikTok likes or impressions on your Twitter account. The algorithm gets is fed by numbers. Exactly.
So that would really help us, and it would. If you ever wonder about what the behind the scenes of a project like this is, we're trying to do little videos and updates. And if you contribute, you'll get direct messages right from the set sometimes or the day after. So we're just trying to keep everybody included and feel like you're part of it.
So the Patton Oswalt episode, that's not, I guess, chronologically going to be episode 1, right? That's just the first one you're shooting.
That's the first one we shot because he goes on tour, and so it's actually scheduled to be the 3rd episode, but we had to scramble and switch it all around just to get him for 2 days. And that's the kind of thing we're just like constantly scrambling to use what we have. We got
Absolutely.
Some cameras, we got some people who are enthusiastic, and that's about it. We don't have an art department or costumes or special effects or anything like that.
I was really happy to hear that you're bringing back some folks from Coherence, some familiar faces. Patton Oswalt, obviously everybody knows him, but getting some work out of Emily and Hugo, two of the best performances out of Coherence that I could say. Hugo had me wanting to strangle his neck, not being
Beardy.
forthcoming. Beardy, he's not he wasn't forthcoming with the info in Coherence, and I'm yelling at my screen, just answer the damn question, Beardy. And
so tense. He was so embarrassed. He didn't even want to say it.
Didn't even want to say it because they're going to call me crazy,
Right.
Well, back to the rewards for backing this project. There are a couple of good options there. A couple, meaning like a couple dozen good options for, I guess, tier levels. Go and check those out, guys. And Jim, before we let you go, man, is there any last thought that you want to throw out there about Shatterbelt to get the pledges up?
No, just if you liked Coherence and you like that, indie filmmaking and want to support, a very ambitious project that's circumventing Hollywood, and we're just keeping it as pure as possible. We could really use your help, and we need to make the Bigfoot episodes happen. So please support, the cause.
Oh, Bigfoot!
That's what
Jim.
I'm talking about. Everybody, give your hard-earned money to Jim.
Yeah,
Jim, we definitely
money. I don't care where it comes from. Just get it in there somehow.
Just get it in there somewhere. The numbers don't lie, guys. Get the algorithm up. We're going to share this. We want you to share it. And Jim, best of luck on this project. I'm really looking forward to it. I dig the Twilight Zone, Outer Limits vibe. This is, we were talking about the lack of shows, the lack of content out there that is like Twilight Zone. I think it was either James and I or Casey and I were talking about this, that we don't really have any more, Tales from the Crypt, Twilight Zone, Outer Limits, Alfred Hitchcock Presents type shows, and they're really missing. So it's just right up our alleys, you know?
I agree. They're short. They're 25 minutes long. They're a concept. You get in, you get out, you have your mind twisted for a bit, and then you talk about it with your friends.
Mind grenades for days, Jim.
Mind grenades, yeah. Brain bombs.
So we're going to let you go on that note. Guys, look in the bio for the Kickstarter link. And when we come back, we're digging into the main event flick. Stay tuned.
Thank you guys so much. Appreciate it.
Thanks. You're welcome.
Thank you, Jim. All right, welcome back. Well, she was gone in the first segment. And again, thank you to Mr. Jim Burkett. But she was gone in the first segment, so let's welcome back Casey into the fold. Casey, unfortunately, you were unable to be here for the interview with Jim, but you are here to dive into the murky waters that are the 87 slasher Blood Rage.
I would confirm that those waters are indeed murky.
Murky at best. Well, how was your vacay? Was it okay?
It was
your vacay
pretty
okay?
good.
Yeah.
It was much needed, but thank you for asking.
You're welcome. Did you encounter any bears or any dangers up in the mountains? Any, like, wrong turn type people?
As much as I had hoped, no. But when we got to our cabin, it was completely unlocked, and all the lights and all the TVs were on. A little eerie, a little spooky.
Okay, so, hey, that could have been... You should have fully documented that whole thing. I mean, it would have ended in disappointment, but...
Yeah, didn't at all. Just walked in and looked around.
Oh, yeah. Turn the cameras on next time.
I should.
Well, that's good, though. Welcome back.
How's bragging camp going?
I love to host bragging camp.
Well, that means there's something to brag about. Usually we don't have that. You know, this is...
James seems to think we have bragging camp pretty often, actually.
He does think that, and it's usually for the most trivial things. It's like, oh, hey, I've got I bought some ice cream the other day. Well, how's bragging camp going? We don't have ice cream over here in my little one-horse town. But, you know...
I got something to brag about, Bill.
Oh, God. Go
The
ahead.
NFL went to the Titans game today, then played 2 scrimmages on the field. Won both of them.
You won both. Okay, well, you saw me some, or you sent me some pictures. What were you wearing up there, James?
Bill, I had them overalls on. I got the torch passed down to me as...
From whom?
Bobby Bell.
I know Bobby
Passed
Bell.
the torch with, what is it called?
You tell me.
I can't remember.
What are we talking about?
It's not... Oh, yeah, Ballfield Jesus.
Oh, yeah, he's been Ballfield Jesus for as long as I can remember.
He's out there with them overalls on, Bill.
What a guy. What a Bobby by God Bell.
Had
Let me
to
tell you
put
something. Well, when he you used to go through my dad's old yearbooks, and he graduated with, my stepdad. And he was the guy who had this immaculate afro. I'm talking like Ben Wallace type afro. And it was just ginger red. Can't help but love the guy. He's the guy that locked eyes with me. Remember when I came up to the Westmoreland Youth Football League? What was that? What was the event, James, that I came up and did the press box thing for?
That was the playoffs, the Tri-County League playoffs.
Okay, so yeah, I went up and helped out in the press booth. The press booth.
Worst I ever made.
Yeah, worst mistake I ever made. My career ended before it was even, beginning. I'm up there, and you know what? I'm not going to take all the blame, though, because you had some pretty shitty equipment that when you turn off the mic, it doesn't actually turn off, so there's no point in turning it off. Just leave it on and throw it far, far away if you're not going to use it. Because I'm up there trying to figure out how everything works. Your Uncle Mitch is up there, and I don't know what happened, but I said, God damn it, Mitch. Well, the microphone was off, and it was down below me, but I look out of the press box window, and who do I see locked eyes with me? Ballfield Jesus. Man, my heart sunk, because I knew he heard me. And I'm just up here cussing up a storm at the Westmoreland Youth Football League playoffs, where everybody's there. Like, every team that's going to participate is already there. And Ballfield Jesus looks up at me with pain in his heart.
Them young minds couldn't handle it, Bill.
Oh, my God. Well, Rick, Blood Rage was your pick, man. What, James?
I said you tainted their soul forever, Bill.
I may have. And I'm not sorry.
Your colorful vocabulary.
Rick, Blood Rage was your pick, man. How'd you settle on this one?
That it was. So, honestly, I've never seen this movie before we, watched it and are doing the review right now. I've always heard about it. I've always heard about that it's one of the very few horror films that takes place on Thanksgiving of all holidays. A lot of horror films take place on Christmas or Halloween but this is not on Thanksgiving.
We even have a Valentine's Day,
Right.
Mother's Day. We don't get a lot of Thanksgiving. There should be more Thanksgiving murder. I mean, isn't that what it was founded on?
I mean, to an extent, yeah.
Well, I don't know. I think it's more founded on murder than most other holidays.
Yeah.
Name another. Name another holiday that's founded on murder.
Columbus Day.
Son of a bitch. We need more Columbus Day horror. Is what we need, but like reverse it.
Yeah.
So you hadn't seen it before. Christmas was founded on murder?
Major murder.
No, I've never seen it. I've always heard about it. Never watched it. Not even one time. One of my really good friends actually told me about this a long time ago, and he's like, "Dude, you got to see Blood Rage. It's freaking awesome. It takes place on Thanksgiving." I was like, "Okay, whatever. I'll watch it eventually." And then, lo and behold,
who was this friend? Right. Name names. You don't have to give his last name.
His name is Steven.
Steven? You handsome
he's the
devil.
one that got me into horror. So
I hate Steven already. We know that LeBron James beard you got going on there.
LeBron James?
He's got the damn beard, Bill.
Try again.
Hairline looks like Count Chocula.
So, Rick, you hadn't seen it before. Had anybody else seen this movie before? I had not.
Why, hell no. I don't even know the name of it.
Casey, have you seen
I had not seen this movie. I had never even heard of it, actually. It's a good name, Blood Rage.
Yeah, not what I expected. For some reason, I was thinking like some kind of hillbilly overall wearing, much like what James wore to the Titan Stadium today. Pitchforks, turkey and dressing. No, not turkey and dressing. I didn't even think about it being a Thanksgiving horror flick.
Not at all. Not watching it
with a gravy boat.
I go. Hush. I'm getting hungry. Well, yeah, watching it. I took the dinner scene as like a big meal, like a celebratory meal, but it didn't register in my mind that it was a Thanksgiving meal. Like, nobody said anything that they're like thankful for, right? Or did they?
Do people do that?
No.
Well, I mean, if you're really going to spell it out that it's Thanksgiving, though, like just a big fat turkey on the table doesn't sell it for me. I'll do that tomorrow. You fuck with me. I don't know. Maybe I'm just slow to the punch. Now, don't take that as like a lack of interest in this movie, because there's anything but a lack of interest in this movie for me. I fucking loved it. But before we get into it, we got to get Rick's rundown. Rick, handle it.
All right, so this week we did Blood Rage, also known as Nightmare at Shadow Woods and Slasher. It's a 1987 slasher film directed by John Grissmer. It was written by Bruce Rubin. It stars Louise Lasser, Mark Soper, and Julie Gordon. It's one of the few horror films that is actually set on Thanksgiving. This came out on March 29th, 1987. But fun fact, is originally filmed, the whole thing, in 1984, and they didn't release it until 87. I'm not really sure why. That is a long time for them to film and then release, but maybe they didn't have the money. This was filmed in Jacksonville, Florida. It was released theatrically under the title Nightmare at Shadow Woods, and it was censored and cut, in which much of the film's elaborate gore effects were censored. And then on home video, it was released under Blood Rage, although the opening credits confusingly identified it as slasher. Some actresses that are in this is pretty limited. Louise Lasser is in this. She plays Maddie Simmons. She's Todd and Terry's mom. She was in some soap operas in the 70s. She was actually married to Woody Allen and appeared in some of his earlier films, Disgusting. Mark Soper is Todd and Terry Simmons both. He was known for his television role in the series Knots Landing, and his role as Michael in Milton in The World According to Garp. Marianne Cantor, who actually is one of the producers of this film, was Dr. Berman from the mental institution because the original actor that was supposed to be that came from New York City failed the show. So she had to do this. It was directed by John Grissmer, and the music, which is freaking awesome, was directed by Richard Einhorn. The censored version is 79 minutes. The uncut is 82. It was filmed in the United States. I couldn't really find a budget or anything on it. One really big actor that was in this, it was his first role ever. It was as a cameo, was none other than Ted Raimi, who is known for a lot of stuff that he's been in actor-wise. Evil Dead 2. He was Ted Hoffman in the Spider-Man trilogy. He was in Ash vs. Evil Dead. He had small roles in Intruder, Shocker, Darkman, Candyman, Army of Darkness, Clear and Present Danger, The Grudge, Drag Me to Hell. He was in Twin Peaks. He was in Alf. He was in Baywatch. So this dude is horror royalty. He was in Creepshow. He's been in so much stuff that it's insane. But that was one of the bigger guys in it. And yeah, we watched Blood Rage, and hope you guys enjoy, because I really enjoyed this. It was awesome.
Thank you for that, Rick. So let me be clear. I love this movie. There's not a single element that I love more than the music. And while I do mean, like, especially the opening credits theme, I mean the music throughout the entire film. Like, it had me bopping in the recliner waiting for the killing to commence. This score, soundtrack, whatever you want to call it, is fucking top notch. It's like I was waiting for, like, The Weeknd's Blinding Lights to start up. It was like a slow intro to that. And even more so, it reminded me of the opening theme and maybe the opening montage or sequence to the movie The Warriors, if anybody remembers that.
Ooh, I like that comparison.
Don't act like you've ever seen The Warriors, James.
Bill, the only time I've seen The Warriors is when you made me watch it that time over at your house.
How many movies can we say that about?
That video game where I throw that bottle for fucking 45 minutes trying to get these guys to look over there.
Yeah.
I had
Man.
blood that day myself, Bill. Oh.
You know, listen, what are the most popular games right now? Like, some of the hottest games are like GTA, Red Dead Redemption.
Don't involve throwing no damn bottle.
But this is the same company that made those games. This was a Rockstar game. And
I ain't playing no damn game, Bill. Tired of it.
Well, you played it that day, and I'm glad you did. But this, you know what? The opening sequence was in the game, too. Not just the movie. Fantastic. Well, yeah. I think that one was by Barry Dvorzan. Who did you say did the music score in this one, Rick?
Richard Einhorn.
Old Dick Einhorn.
Finkel and Ironhorn. Ironhorn and Finkel and Ironhorn.
Well, Barry Dvorzan did The Warriors, and that was the comparison that I had to draw from for this film.
Billy,
now,
as well, I was going to note on that, the composer I just looked up, he's done scores for other horror movies, Don't Go in the House, Eyes of a Stranger, The Prowler, Dark Tower.
What Dark Tower?
1989 Dark Tower, the film.
Oh, okay, never mind. There's a Stephen King Dark Tower franchise, but that does not appear to be related. I'm looking into it now.
Well, speaking of names being mixed up, did anybody catch the matinee to the drive-in theater in this opening scene?
Like what it was?
Yeah, the movie that was on there.
I did not. I was actually going to look that up and forgot. I'm glad you reminded me. What is it?
So it is called The House That Cried Murder. Now, I know there's an alternate name to this film, and I don't remember what it is, but The House That Cried Murder. I had to look it up and see if it was like a real film. And lo and behold, it is. And when I looked it up, here reads the synopsis. After she finds her newlywed husband in bed with his old girlfriend, a bride uses money from her wealthy father to turn her husband's love nest into a place of horror. I am fucking sold.
I would watch that.
I'm gonna watch that, if I can find it.
When was this made?
1973. Well, are you asking the movie that was on the matinee, or the movie that we're watching, or that we watched? The movie we watched was in 87, filmed in 84.
Harry Twin Todd escapes from the asylum. It's time for Terry to get out the old machete.
Okay, we're talking about two different movies now, James. I want you to catch up with me here, okay?
When was it made, man?
James, it was filmed in 83. It didn't come out till 87.
Oh, okay.
A boy kills a man and accuses his twin brother of murder?
Correct.
Yes. Did you watch the right movie, James?
Did you even watch this?
Yeah.
I asked you hours ago, did you watch the movie, James?
Blood Rage Thanksgiving.
Why does it sound like this is the first time you're reading any of this?
No, you're crazy.
Well, you know, sometimes when you see a matinee in films, you wonder if the movie's real, like especially if you'd never heard of it before, and I hadn't heard of, you know, The House That Cried Murder. But, I mean, this is how I got into the Night Nurses saga. And, like, you know, through 7 films, they never did cure that guy's never-ending boner. Never did. Night Nurses 7 was, you know, the penultimate... What are you laughing at?
I'm the only one's gonna laugh? Okay.
I cried in part 3. So
Nice.
let's talk. So let's talk about this cold open. This movie comes fucking unglued within 2 minutes of the final opening credit. All right.
Dude,
Well, first,
I love it.
it is amazing. Like, first, I guess we should address the fact that nobody was there to watch the movie at this drive-in. Like, nobody. Everybody drove into that open-air theater to get their bone zone on. There's no movie viewing. It is all fucking. Or trying.
Maybe they're just kissing.
Yeah.
Some of them nude.
Yeah. Some of them with penises inserted.
Well,
I guess if I don't move back and forth and we just kiss, it's not really sex. I should have used that in high school. Fuck. So anyway, we've got these 2 twin boys. And like,
how old do you think they are?
okay, I was gonna
with
bring this
kids'
up.
ages.
I think
I
they're
am also bad with
7 or
kids.
8 or 9 maybe, probably 8 or 9 years old.
Nah,
Man.
for real?
Yeah.
I've had 9-year-olds, and they were like, they may as well have been twins. They were born 13 months apart. Nah, man, these kids are
I thought
like
these
11
kids were
and
like
12.
14. Oh, Jesus.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, no, that 12 to 14 is not a huge change, you know. I mean, there might be some, you know, public hair growth, but that's about it. 12 to 14, I did nothing different. So I just can't get over the fact that everybody in this drive-in is bricked up. Doesn't matter. Anyway, the 2 twin boys, they're 2 12-year-old 9-year-olds, and like one of them basically calls his mom a whore. They're in the back, they're asleep. Mom is in the front seat, ready to get dicked down at any moment by this guy who. Oh, she is. Like,
Yeah.
oh, the boys are asleep. She's ready to get busy.
Because she's all like, oh, the boys are going to see. And her boyfriend, husband's like, no, they're not. They're asleep.
Yeah, and this boyfriend is easily 2 decades younger than her. So she is not a rookie at this game. Obviously, I mean, she's got 2 trophies in the back. But I feel like this is a regular happening for Mom. Because if I could, you know, find the quote, one of the twin bros wakes up and he says something to his brother like, "Mom's at it again." So I'm guessing. Yeah, I think that's exactly what he said. Mom's at it again. So I guess she makes a habit of taking her boys to the drive-in, putting them to sleep before the movie starts, and then getting strictly dickly in that station wagon.
I just feel like there are better ways to go about this. I'm not a parent, but...
Well, that's why you have that opinion, because you're not a parent. You know, let's use your puppy dog as an example. What would you do if you had to take your puppy dog everywhere you went, but still yearned from time to time? Quite often.
I have a whole bedroom that he doesn't have to go in.
Yeah, but it's the weekend. Nobody wants to stay in. Well, I want to stay in, but nobody else wants to stay in.
I feel like millions of parents around the world manage to not fuck within a 2-foot vicinity of their 12-year-olds all the time.
Well, they're not 12 in story. They're 12 in real life. They're probably 18 at this point in real life. But but they're playing 9-year-olds or whatever it was. But, you know, plans change. You get to the drive-in. Maybe you intended on watching Addams Family Value.
I did. I still do.
But, you know, once you get there and you went from having 1 gear shift in the car to having 2... It's like maybe, just maybe, plans change, you know?
I think everyone on the podcast knows that I am saving myself for marriage, so plans would not change.
Okay, well, there went that
So
theory.
I would never find myself in this scenario.
I take it Mom has said that she's listening to this episode.
Everyone listening.
Okay. Well, so since Mom's trying to get stabbed up, the twins, they sneak out, and of course Mom and boyfriend are none the wiser. And first of all, how old is Mom? Because the dude she's with looks way younger than she does. No hate at all. I guess we all want to be, old enough to know better, but still too young to care, But Mom's trying to get stabbed up. The boys sneak out. They find this other car, one out of the dozens where they're trying to go to Pound Town. And one of the twins puts a hatchet into a dude's frontal lobe. And this, again, is within the first 5 minutes of pressing play, man.
Yeah, and the freaking, the blood goes in the popcorn. That's a great shot. Gets on the popcorn. And, dude, it's just unprovoked. That's what I love about it. There's no story. He just does it.
Yeah, that guy was mid-pump. Okay, and I don't know if he was ball deep or just had the head in, but no amount of Blue Chew is bringing back that boner, okay?
Where'd they get that hatchet at, Bill?
I don't even know. Where'd they get the hatchet,
I don't
Rick,
know.
Casey?
Where'd they pull that out at?
I thought one of you would know the answer to that question.
I think
so
you
glad
just
I'm
got-
not alone.
I think he just got it, honestly. I don't know. I mean, I can't
You
remember.
don't just get a hatchet at the
Maybe he was in
drive-in.
his parents' car, or maybe he found it on the ground. I
Where'd
don't-
they get this hatchet?
James, let's be honest about all this. You carry a hatchet everywhere you go.
Bill, to be honest with you, I have a hatchet about 4 feet from me on a TV tray.
On a TV tray.
Yeah. Next to his Hungry Man meal.
That's
It's how he cuts his country fried steak. Okay. Well, let's bring it back. Surprise factor. I give this kill an easy 4 slashes. Okay, the frontal lobe guy. Because it was bloody. It was brutal. The music had me, ready to grab my own hatchet. Plus, that one lady with the big booty, she took off running. So that was a cool sight.
My thing is, he didn't even try to attack her at all. It was all for the guy. She was right there.
It's funny you say that because I've got
I thought that was interesting.
a very loose theory.
You tell.
Very loose theory about sex driving this kid to murder, or this human, because
Yeah, it would appear so.
there are murders that happen outside of the realm of sex in this film. Fine. But it seems like sex, especially from the male perspective, really drives him, up the wall. He found and they, listen, when I tell you, they weren't even wearing socks. Not even
summertime.
socks. I still like to wear my socks when I do anything.
Well, that's cool. I just assumed it was summertime. I didn't think twice about the sock thing.
It's not
saying.
summertime. It's close to Thanksgiving, isn't it?
Oh, shit. Well, no.
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 The Thanksgiving
Yeah.
happened 10 years later.
That's later.
Oh my God, this movie.
This movie
You know
that
what?
James definitely watched.
Yeah.
Listeners everywhere.
Yeah, let's blame the movie for James's confusion.
I've seen this movie.
I believe you
Before-
saw it, James. I believe you saw it. I'm sorry. I believe you think you saw it.
I believe I know I saw it.
Okay, well, I need
only in
ratings.
my dreams.
That's probably the most assured way that you've seen this film, James, is in your dream. But I need
All right.
ratings.
My fried steak.
I need ratings. I gave it 4 slashes for the blood, the brutality, and the music.
I'll give it 3.
Is it on? We're rating it already, Bill?
I would say 3.
I'm rating the kill, James, not the movie.
Well, the kill.
Yes.
Out of 5.
Was there any rock and roll music?
It was, what would you call this? I wouldn't call it techno. It was definitely electronica.
More like
Techno. I'm gonna give it a 2 just on techno.
I just said it wasn't techno.
No, I heard some sort of electronics.
It was synth music.
It was what? You just made that up.
No, Rick would know that because he was telling us just 2 weeks ago about how much he loves bumping Europop and trap music and whatever he was talking about.
Yeah, trance music and
Trance.
Yeah.
O'Neill's got the same.
Trance, not trap. That's different. My bad.
Rick and Chanel O'Keel.
God damn it.
Oh, let me tell you something.
I'm so delighted that just happened. Chanel O'Kill.
McKill O'Neil.
Chanel O'Kill. God damn it, James. My
What is
soul
this? What
hurts
did I
right
say?
now.
Let me hear it. Let me hear what I said.
You said Chanel O'Kill.
That's the name of this guy in this movie, Chanel O'Kill.
And which one's Chanel O'Kill? The one that killed?
Yeah, the one doing all the killing.
Okay, and his brother is just Todd. That's cool.
Yeah.
Okay, good. Okay, well, we've got ratings from at least 3 of you. So, the killer kid might be crazy, but he's not stupid.
I can't get my rating for this synthetic synthesizer kill music.
Yes.
I'll give it a 2.
Okay. You did stay consistent because I now remember you said 2 before. But before everybody comes out and rats Chanel O'Kill out, he gives the hatchet to his brother, wipes the blood on him.
Right, he blames on him.
Yeah, and snitches on his own twin brother, y'all, and not only that,
everybody.
Yeah, and everybody was super close to have seen him doing that.
Those people were just standing around.
Like, what's he wiping all that stuff on him for? But you know what? Not only does he get blamed for it, Todd, that is, but they put him on lockdown. And he can't defend himself because he's become catatonic from the trauma of seeing seeing man ass and a hatchet go into a man's skull. You can see both, okay, but not too close together. I need a 10-minute buffer before I see one or the other. If I see a man's ass, I need 10 minutes before I witness murder. 15 if there's man ass involved in the murder. Hard rule.
Got very specific needs for movies.
Well, yeah, I've lived a long time, You got to be ready.
Several centuries.
Yeah. It's like the presidential playbook, Be ready with it, for everything. But fast forward 10 years. Now, here's the thing. In my notes, I completely fucked these names up. Okay, Terry, who shall now henceforth be known as Chanel O'Kill, and his twin brother Todd, I started putting in my notes the name Troy for Todd. So if I say Troy, please correct me, because I kept calling him Troy. But they're the twins. Chanel O'Kill, Terry, and Todd. But Todd's now in this mental facility, and Terry's playing the coy role, out in the world with his feathered hair and the sideburns up in the negative. But he's out there playing the weirdest games of two-hand touch. Talking to
all the girls,
talking to these random girls who run with no bra on. Casey, could you ever?
No.
No? Okay.
Not unless I want 2 black eyes. Hell no. No. Can't do that. Cannot do that. But, Terry's already given me them murder vibes. Okay? Now, the one thing that, I guess I'll get to this later, but anyway, Mom's, she's found the one, I guess. Years of, dragging horny men to the drive-in, finally, paid off. And, this time she's got somebody her own age. Pretty cool. She's looking at settling down, growing old together. Family's not completely all together because, to her knowledge, Todd has, went off and killed somebody, so they're incomplete. She's got issues.
The dude's name is Brad, and he owns that whole, the whole apartment complex or whatever.
Right, Brad, and he's a little... Yeah. He's a little funny himself, but I'm sure he's harmless. But, things are going fantastic till she gets that phone call at Thanksgiving. Well, you guys say it was Thanksgiving. To me, it was just a Tuesday meal with everybody around.
Thanksgiving, he was cutting the turkey.
Okay, well, can you only eat turkey at Thanksgiving?
No, but
okay.
Who eats that kind of turkey just randomly?
Well, I just said.
I eat turkey once.
Time.
I don't eat no damn turkey that's on Thanksgiving just randomly.
I ate turkey sandwich today.
I'm glad that on that first Thanksgiving they ate turkey instead of mountain lion or something.
Bill, let me tell you something.
Oh.
Is it about Sasquatch?
I went over to your hometown of Portland to that crafts fair.
Crafts
and
fair?
bought me some damn candied jalapenos.
Are they good?
Yeah, they're pretty good. Anyway, I had a turkey sandwich. I put them on that turkey sandwich. And I
That
ate
sounds
it.
good.
And it was pretty good. Anyway, that's all I got. Support your local fuckery. They also had a local bees, Bill. Several different stands with bees.
Yeah, with bees or with honey?
Well, I mean, they had their own bees. They were making their own honey.
Were they
In
just
front of you?
So they had to have their bees.
watch him? His name's Terrence. He'll make the most honey out of all these bastards.
Terrence, go. I got a jar of Terrence's finest over here for you.
Well, I'm glad you did, because I didn't know anything about this crafts fair. I would have known to not go down that street if I was out. So
It was over there. Where's the pool at in Portland?
Fuck, I don't know.
I don't know that much about Portland, but there was a pool.
Oh, that's over by the park. Over by Richland Park.
Gymnasium. They're in the old gymnasium, Bill.
Yeah, I know where that is. Okay. So you bought some honey and some candied jalapenos?
I didn't buy no honey. I bought candied jalapenos.
You said that you got me some honey.
No,
Did I misunderstand?
I was scouting at your competition, Bill, doing my homework.
Yeah, see, like, whoever's running that stand is fucking dead to me right now.
Oh,
I don't even have any bees yet, so, I mean, he can do his thing, but once I come into town, man, it's like Scarface. You're going to walk in, see me sitting at the end of a really huge table with honey all over my face.
Christmas is coming, Billy. If you ask Santa, maybe he'll get you bees.
And me with a pot on my head.
Trying to get it off with his feet. How did we get down this road?
Rick can't eat turkey unless it's on Thanksgiving. I tell him about my turkey sandwich I had.
Rick, you
or
sorry bastard.
at the Renaissance fair with you eat the turkey legs there. That counts.
Who's going to a Renaissance fair?
Me,
dude.
bitch.
This year.
Oh my God! So like, have all of y'all been to a Renaissance fair?
Yeah.
Every year.
Dude, they're awesome.
I've never been once. Like, what do you do there? Just like talk like Yoda, or
No,
like, wear
Yoda.
frilly dresses?
That's who you talk like.
Yeah.
You can throw axes or knives, shoot bow and arrows.
Jousting
I
tournament.
can do every
They have
one of
cool
those things in my
crafts.
backyard.
Jousting tournament?
You can ride medieval rides.
No, you cannot. You can ride regular, everyday rides.
You can slap winches around and all kinds of
You
stuff.
can meet
You
Queen
I'm
also
Elizabeth.
there.
can't do that.
If I can't slap winches around, I'm not going.
You can see Queen Elizabeth. She'll like walk up to you and like condemn you.
She is not. I don't think that's Queen Elizabeth.
It's somebody.
It's not. It's the Renaissance.
Listen, Rick, just to put time into perspective for you, Queen Elizabeth had black hair in The Naked Gun, and that was 1987.
I don't know who it's supposed to be then. Some royal person. I don't know. Shit.
God, Queen Elizabeth? Is that who you pulled out of your
Queen
ass?
Victoria, maybe. I don't know.
No, Victoria
there
was turn
had
of
to
the
be.
century.
Oh, you don't
18 to
know.
19. Yeah, I do too. I studied Victorian literature in college.
And who was it,
Oh.
Casey? Who was the queen?
I'm looking it up.
That's a whole time frame. Surely there wasn't one queen.
The
Going.
most notable. Okay, it looks like the most notable Renaissance queen is Mary Tudor
Oh,
Yeah.
or Elizabeth I. Damn, Rick. Okay, you win this round.
You know he didn't mean that, Elizabeth. He meant the one that's in there now. The one that ran off Harry and Meghan. And
But yeah,
probably killed
Renaissance
Diana.
fairs are totally fun. We can all go together. We'll take a podcast field trip.
Yeah, because that's totally on theme.
Maybe you'll get murdered.
Whoa, a murder Renaissance festival.
I would watch the fuck out of that, actually.
I don't know how this happened, but I'm glad it did. Man,
I
I'm
would
glad
like
it did.
to go to a murder mystery dinner.
You can do those. Like, you can pay to set those up. There are places that will do that for you.
Well, I know you can. Or I wouldn't want to go.
damn.
You say you would or wouldn't want to go?
I know that you can do that, or I would not want to go if I had to set it up myself.
Oh, yeah, good point. So,
You
Billy,
want
you need
one
to
that's
host
already
a murder
set up.
mystery dinner. Yeah, Billy has to host it and invite James.
We eat these TV dinners. Who did this murder?
Don't put it past me to do such a thing. James, let me
What?
borrow $5,000.
Bill, if I come over your house and somebody murders Alex and I got to solve it, I'm going to be upset.
Specifically, Alex. Couldn't be anyone else in the household.
Well, okay.
That's who the mystery would be.
Well, listen. You know that it would be Gorilla.
What did you say? You were going to do it? You going to do that?
I don't know. I might do it at your grandma's house.
You could probably have a murder mystery there. There's several rooms.
Yeah, she'd let me do it. Well, anyway, so...
Mitch in the parlor with a candlestick.
There he is chewing on the wax. So listen, guys. The whole thing here in this film, it's really starting to set up at this Thanksgiving dinner. Because Mom gets the phone call. What's Mom's name?
Mom.
Bridget.
So Mom... Is it Bridget?
No, her name is
Maddie.
You were really close, James, except for all the letters. So Maddie, the mom, gets a phone call. And first of all, let me say that Maddie has immaculate hair in this film. Who says no?
Not I.
Maddie, about the things you do. Called the Woolly Bully.
So things are going great until she gets that phone call. And like the one time you want it to be about your car's extended warranty, no. It looks like Todd's busted out of the mental facility. So one critique that I have for this movie, and believe me, there are not many, is that the cat is out of the bag too early that Todd wasn't the killer. Like, if they just let us believe that Todd was the killer and Terry was the innocent brother, I feel like that one would have like more suspense. Like, it would be Strangers on a Train or Sleeping with the Enemy suspense level.
Just looking for a real sleepaway camp vibe.
Oh yeah, I don't want to know.
One guy up if he done it. Why did they lock the other guy up? Don't they know that he killed people?
Oh my God, James!
They're twin brothers.
If you didn't watch the movie, just say that.
Well, I'm trying to figure this out, Bill. They caught him red-handed with the murder weapon.
Literally. They caught the twin brother, the good brother, the one that did not kill the guy in the back seat of that car, red-handed with blood on him and a hatchet in his hand.
Oh, shit.
See, because the bad brother, the one that did kill the guy, put it in his hands. And because he had the good brother had just witnessed his own flesh, his twin brother of all people, because he had witnessed him murder somebody, he had become catatonic and unresponsive. So he couldn't really fight it back. Now does it make sense?
I done do it.
There you go. You can't do that if you can't do that in a catatonic state, though. I don't even know what catatonic means.
It was like that time I broke that pool stick. You were in a catatonic state, Bill.
James, I was in anything but a catatonic state. I was clutching my gut laughing at that. So James and I are hanging out with a friend. I guess he would be a friend of mine at that point, even though you knew him quite well, having gone to school with him for so many years. But James isn't just going to hang out with this guy on his own. James is there because I'm there. And we're playing pool in the guy's garage. And we are what, James? 13-ish?
I don't know. Did we have our driver's license? How did we get there?
No, I don't think we were driving. I'm pretty sure...
walk there?
We might have walked there, but... Yeah, we might have walked there from your dad's house.
He lives right down the road from my dad, so...
Yeah. So we're in the garage shooting pool, and this is a pretty new pool table, okay? This is like new equipment, new sticks, new balls, new felt on the tables, new feeling. Like the dancing shoes have not yet lost their shine, okay? So our friend, we'll call him Josh because that's his name, he's taking his rounds, James taking his round. Everything's going great. James shoots, misses.
Thank you for your service. A veteran, by the way. Thank you for your service.
Who?
Oh, you veteran. Josh. All you veterans out there. You too, Bill. Thank you for your service.
Well, thank you for your acknowledgement.
And
yes, Josh.
Listening.
Hoorah. So, don't butter him up now, James. It's already over with. Okay, he can't be more upset with you 20 years later. So anyway, James takes a shot. He misses, and James swings this pool stick in midair like a baseball bat, but stops it mid-swing. And I don't know if I've told you guys, but James, he's what the doctors would call a big old boy. Corn-fed, okay? 13 years old, he's probably walking around at 250, maybe 270. Left tackle for the football team, first baseman because he's such a big target you can't miss him. Well, the power behind this swing on the pool stick was enough to just send the top half of that fucking stick flying across the room. And the look on James's face was almost of perplexity, bewilderment, almost as if a Sasquatch had tapped him on the ass and walked by and said, "Nice shorts, big boy." James's eyebrows curled up on end, and Josh is just standing there looking at him in disbelief.
Maybe he was catatonic.
And Josh, I think Josh was the one in a catatonic state, but I was definitely not, because I could not hold back the laughter at the look on your face when you saw the top half of that stick. It might have stuck in the wall, I don't know, like a dart. But it was fucking great, James.
Oh, yes, that was a good time.
Well, you brought it up. Don't act like I'm beating a dead horse here. So, problems arise due to that phone call, and Miss Maddie has gotten the news that Todd has busted out of the facility. And now everybody knows, including Chanel O'Kill. And it's, you know, it's kind of triggering some odd behavior, some old thoughts. And I think that's what makes this movie so fun. Say that again?
THOTS, thoughts. Triggering the thoughts.
Yes, the thoughts. The winches, as James says. Mm-hmm. But this film really shines a light on how dangerous they think Todd is by the fact that two representatives of the hospital show up at the family home. One, a female doctor, and the other, a muscle-bound dude, recklessly wielding a handgun that he quickly puts on Chanel O'Kill when he opens the door. To which the doctor quickly responds with, "Put that gun down, it's the twin." Now, this is like the most interesting thing to me, because like there are parts of this movie where even the mom doesn't know which twin she's talking to.
She hasn't seen one of them in like 10 years.
Right, but she has seen the other one all 10 years, and she would pick up on if there's a difference between the two, much like the doctor would. Has the doctor seen Chanel O'Kill?
Not that I've ever been made aware.
I have also not been made aware. I'm not on their HIPAA form, though. I don't know. Rick, can you think of any instance where the doctor would know who Chanel O'Kill is?
No.
Samesies. So why can the doctor figure out so quickly a difference between the twins, but Mom and her hair can't do that?
Mom's got a lot going on.
These are her children.
I'm not speaking for moms.
Okay. Well, it's been 10 years since Chanel O'Kill killed that guy's boner, along with the rest of his body. But with Todd on the loose, like something has awoken in Chanel's blood rage. And who's his first victim? Did I say Chanel?
No, you said blood rage.
I did say it. Are we supposed to go crazy, like a word of the day on Pee-wee's Playhouse?
I got excited. Sounds like Rick and James don't give a fuck, though.
No, I actually watched the movie, unlike someone.
There we go. That's the reaction I was seeking.
Well, who is Chanel's first victim?
No!
Brad.
Remember
Brad.
Yeah. Old B-Rad.
That old Indian in the cupboard there, he'd yell out mail. When an Indian come by, yeah, he delivered the mail, the Indian.
Was that David Keith?
Yeah, I think so.
Or Keith David?
He was the mailman.
I get them mixed up. Who was the one in They Live? Was that David Keith or Keith David?
It's Keith David.
Keith
Okay,
David, come on.
Keith David is the one in They Live and There's Something About Mary. David Keith is the one in Major League 2.
Chanel will kill.
So, Mom's new boyfriend, husband-to-be. And how's he go out? Classic machete. Like one good swipe with a machete.
Hand.
His fucking hand. And dude, the best part of it, the hand never loses the grip on the old-style beer he's sipping on.
And then he splits his head apart.
Now, did he do that in the first scene, this very scene? Because there's like there's a thing that I was going to bring up later on, in that if there's ever a kill that happens off screen, like an implied kill, every one of them has been come back to. Like, they don't just leave it. You know, they'll come back to it and you see what happened. I was thinking that the head split happened off screen, and when Maddie finds him later, that's when she realized he's been hemisphered.
Yeah, she finds him later on.
Yeah, she finds him later, but does the head split happen early, or do we never see it?
No, it happens when he kills Brad, and then then the thing with the doctor starts where they're looking for him. She's looking for him in the woods or whatever.
Okay, yeah.
The female doctor.
Correct. Was there another doctor?
The one that had the gun or whatever.
Oh, he was a doctor too? I thought he was just hired muscle.
No, it's 2 doctors.
Damn, I didn't give him any credit. Okay, well, it's been 10 years since Shaquille killed that guy's boner. Like I just said, the old style beer the Brad's sipping on. This is a good first kill back in the game, right? Nice little head split. Now, I did give this kill 3 slashes just because of the beer can grip.
I think this is also a 3 for me.
Yeah, I see it 3.
I like beer. I give it a 2.
So let's say that you're a crazed killer. Like, you're wanting this plan to work. Yeah, let's say. You're wanting this plan to work.
Y'all get my ratings?
Your what?
Did you get my ratings? Huh?
I got your rating.
Oh, okay. Nobody said nothing about it. Okay, all right.
Well, you were the last one to go, so I figured I'd move on to the next thing.
We got to at least acknowledge me, Bill, or I don't know if my audio's working.
Oh, do you need to be acknowledged at all times, little man?
I must be acknowledged, Bill. I cannot be ignored.
It's like last week when we thought he was asleep.
Just wink if you hear me, Bill. That's all I need. Onward.
Let the record show, Billy winked. So again, let's say you're a crazed killer, you're wanting this plan to work. You can't just let the biggest threats continue to live, right? So after old B-Rad's knocked off, you want to live yourself. So Terry knows that, Chenille knows that, and that's why he had to take out the muscle doctor from the hospital next. Like, quick machete through the gut, stole the man's cigarette while he was at it. 2 slashes for simplicity.
I think that's a fair rating.
Thank you.
He stopped giving feedback because we didn't acknowledge it.
Oh, you want me to go second this time?
No, this is also 4th because we have all agreed that this gets 2 slashes, James.
I'm going to give it a 3 because that man don't need to be smoking.
This message has been brought to you by the Surgeon General. Okay.
I was just saying, we take hard stances on this podcast.
Yeah. There's certain movies we won't touch, and we don't fuck with smokers.
Oh my God.
Truth.com. Well, you know,
that's right, Bill.
It's an admirable stance, James. I'm proud of you for that one. Proud of you.
You know who don't smoke? You know who else don't smoke?
Who?
Bigfoot.
Probably.
Can't be hide and seek champion smoking a cigarette.
Yeah, I mean, you'll be looking through that scope, see some smoke flying up, and you're like, okay, I know where he is.
You give your position off every time, Bill.
Like in Lord of the Rings.
They got no cigarettes in Lord of the Rings?
No, when they start the little campfire and Gandalf gets so mad at them.
Yeah.
Do you wish me a good morning?
Is that before or after a second breakfast?
I believe it is before second breakfast.
Speaking of breakfast, who among us hasn't had a moment of eating cold leftovers while sitting on the floor in front of the fridge with the door wide open?
I found that scene not only comforting, but relatable. Also, don't forget the crying. Don't leave out the crying.
I didn't think about the crying.
Talk about breakfast this morning at the Cracker Barrel, Bill.
Were you crying?
No. I had a hamburger steak for breakfast, Bill. What about that?
That's a man's breakfast, James. What'd you have on the side?
That's a bold move. I had the biscuits and gravy.
Man.
It's pretty good.
That's my go-to,
I know you
James.
like Cracker Barrel.
Well, I like biscuits and gravy in general, James. You know this.
I know you've been there with me before.
You know what? That's the last place that we ate together, isn't it?
No, it's at Mexican restaurant.
Cracker Barrel was day 1 of my vacation, was it not?
After second breakfast. Yeah, I don't know.
But yeah, very relatable scene. Like I can sit here and think, and I specifically remember eating some cottage cheese out of the tub on the floor with my back to the refrigerator after a baseball practice one day.
Eating cottage cheese alone is a cry for help.
Thank you.
What the hell's wrong with cottage
That's funny,
cheese?
y'all bring, because I was going to ask y'all if y'all like cottage cheese the other day, because I ate some.
Oh,
Hell no.
Apparently
Mr.
Billy
Roboto,
does.
I
In the
love
trash
cottage
where it
cheese.
belongs.
Won't touch a pickle eating cottage cheese on its own.
On its own, I will not put fruit in cottage cheese. It ruins it. I don't want anything sweet. I want cottage cheese on its own with a big old tablespoon.
Eat it?
Oh, I've never ate cottage cheese until the past, like, maybe month, and I think I like it.
You're a
By
psychopath
itself?
for that.
Well, I ate it with some Doritos, but I have ate it by itself, too.
Oh my, y'all are freaking psychopaths. That's disgusting.
I've said cottage cheese instead of ricotta in some recipes because it's a little cheaper, but I'm not eating it by itself
I'm not eating
or
it,
as a
period.
dish.
Well, my great-grandmother used to eat cottage cheese and peaches just about every day for lunch. Are you telling me she's a psycho?
Well, good for her.
We'll just start comparing facts about our grandmas.
My grandmother had a beehive haircut. So listen, let's talk about the dichotomy of the doctor from the mental hospital.
My father used to pay me in egg sandwiches to pack stove wood down from the barn.
Egg sandwich wouldn't convince me to do shit.
That's a true story. You didn't have my great-grandmother's egg sandwiches, now did you?
Is
Wow,
it egg salad?
No, it's an egg sandwich. Just
How
an
you
egg.
know
fried
from
egg on
Tennessee,
bread.
Wayne?
Is it still raw in the middle?
No, it was scrambled
Okay, I would eat that.
fried
I
hard.
take it back.
with some mayo on there.
Oh no, I revoke my stance entirely.
he
hot
doesn't mean scrambled. He means like hard fried.
No, it was like folded, like almost like McDonald's.
Like an omelet?
Yeah, like it was. I mean, she would scramble the egg up before she even poured it in the pan.
That doesn't constitute being a scrambled egg in the pan. It's still fried. You just broken up the yolk.
Fried, Bill. You're all cooking in a pan, regardless
Yes.
if it's got a yolk on it or not.
Okay,
The
James.
yolks on the yolk because they're all fried eggs.
Listen to what I'm telling you, James. It's what you're putting on this sandwich is not scrambled eggs. It is a fried egg.
Yeah,
You'll have fucking scrambled eggs just rolling out of every corner of this sandwich if you're putting scrambled eggs on it.
Now the white bread, when you mush it with the white bread, it captures it in the mayo.
Ew, what?
How about we talk about the next kill in this movie?
Yes,
that
let's
before.
please do that. So the dichotomy of the doctor. Shut up, James. Shut up, James. James, God damn it.
And scrambled eggs. Let's call it again.
And I'm talking about the cat-like reflexes that this doctor, had when she saw that Chenille O'Kill wasn't Troy. Like, she stopped Todd wasn't Todd. Like, stopping Russell the Love Muscle from shooting him in the neck or when he sees Todd in the woods on her walk, or when she sees Todd in the woods on her walk, it's like she's wearing cement shoes, Like, reflexes 1 minute, and then the next, the longest sequence of somebody walking up on somebody with a machete.
Yeah, but then the end result is awesome.
Well, we don't get that end result yet, do we? Like, all we know is that, she goes down, not even swinging, but the kill's implied at this point, so no slashes just yet. But we know about Terry. But what about Todd? We don't get a ton of tales on Todd, okay? We know he suffered a mental breakdown when he saw his brother brain this guy at the drive-in. We know he's been pleading his case from within the confines of the hospital. And we know you can put anything squishy in his hands that'll end up on the wall. But when he's out, meandering around, he's obviously on a mission to get back home, right? But when he meets Karen in front of the sliding glass door, like, he abandons that whole game plan just to get a kiss from her. Like, he's forgotten everything that he's doing. Like, he's on the run from authorities, and, like, he must know that the people are going to be on edge around him because of the murdery perception. But his sales pitch to Karen is, I've never kissed a girl before. Well, I mean, I think you really pulled the trigger on that one a little prematurely.
Why do you feel that way?
Because he hadn't so much as said hello.
Yeah, you don't start conversations with that. I tell people all the time I've never kissed a girl before.
Well, I'll tell you what. The way I start off a conversation with a girl that I want to, take back to the drive-in, what I'll do is, let it be known, this is a fictional scenario that has never happened before. What I will do is I'll pull it out and I'll hold it in my hand and I'll be like, hey, you know anything about real estate? Oh, listen.
No, you've lost me.
Listen, I'll be like, you know anything about real estate? And she'll be like, yeah, a little bit. And I'll be like, and I'll show it to her and I'll be like, would you consider this a lot?
Oh, hey, I thought it was funny.
Someday I'm going to quit this podcast mid-episode.
Don't make it today, please.
God.
Okay, James, I don't want to hear anything out of you. But you know what? I was proud of that joke.
Man, best.
Like, hold it in your hand. Would you consider this a lot? Okay, I was proud of that, but like, I wish I was as proud of anything as Julie is of her nipples. I think that's Julie. Isn't that Julie? The one that was running at the beginning?
Yeah.
Yeah, and the one that's sitting on the couch with Shanil O'Kill?
Yeah, that's Julie.
Yeah, so, like, she is 1,000%, like, these are my children, proud of those nipples. And I guess I would be too.
Why not?
Right? Well, but now that Todd? Yeah, now that Todd's out of the bag, Shanil is going to go look for him, assuming, like, to continue his kill streak. You know, we get some build-up with Terry, you know, telling his mom what's up, you know, being all nefarious. But on the flip side, we see a soft side of Todd when he encounters a little girl looking for a cat. Like, he tells her there's a...
She runs up to him and he's like, oh, don't, there's bad people out here, go home. I'm like, what the fuck? Like, how random is this shit?
Well, I think random, because, like, what's that little girl doing out there
right.
on her own? But at the same time, we see what a sweetheart, you know, Todd is, right? Like, the total antithesis of Terry, Shanil O'Kill. It's in the name. It's okay. James, are you still doing that coke over there? You finished with it, or, you know, what's...
I'm on mute. Thank you very much, Bill, since I've been run off this podcast.
We can still hear you if you're on mute.
It's probably Rick sucking cottage cheese through a straw or something.
So, yeah, Todd tells the little girl there's a bad man around and that cats have, you know, a way of finding their way home, and maybe she needs to go home too. I mean, we get that from him, and again, the total antithesis of Todd is Terry. But again, I go back to how the doctor was able to tell Terry from Todd within a split second, but their own mother doesn't know. You know, that Todd has, you know, he's got her tucked away in bed after having too much wine. She doesn't know it's him. I just can't get over that part. Like, 2 scenes later, we see her absolutely chugging another glass of wine. Like, Mom's in a bad way. I get it.
Yeah, she's having a hard time.
Yeah, very rough time. Like, she sounds like the, what's the lady's name? The lady that Alec Baldwin and Gina Davis have to meet on Beetlejuice?
Oh, I know who you're talking about.
It's in the handbook for the recently deceased.
Yeah.
But you know what? The biggest tragedy in this whole film is once Mom takes that shower and that immaculate hairstyle of hers is no longer visible. Biggest tragedy.
It'd be like that sometimes. Everybody's got a shower sometimes.
Sometimes it be's that way. But, you know, the yin to Todd's yang, Terry, he's one sick fuck. Okay, let's run down this murder spree. There's new stepdad with a machete in the beer can. There's Russell the Love Muscle with a machete through the gut. The doctor that got Elizabeth shorted, which we haven't talked about that yet. There's a couple where the guy's head is hung in the doorway.
Yeah.
He's watching Nipple Chick in the shower, which is probably not something I blame him for, but then turns around and kills her and her boyfriend.
And whose peephole in their door is that fucking big? It's like a fucking square that I can look out of it. And I'm like, what the hell?
May as well be a window. You may as well put a fucking window.
The lady from Beetlejuice's name is Juno.
Juno. But I can't remember what she referred to herself as. Like her position in the afterlife.
Their caseworker.
Yeah, okay, yeah, caseworker. But yeah, Shanil O'Kill's, you know, checking out the chick in the shower. Julie in the shower, which again, I don't blame him. But then he turns around and kills her and her boyfriend, and they're doing the hibbity dibbity on the diving board. And what I took away from this scene is that it never occurred to me to do it on a diving board. Like, you've got so much assistance.
Really
like
taking away a lot from this movie.
Yeah, listen, the further out on the board you are, the closer to the water, the more assistance you get. Like,
then
you could
fall in
breathe.
the water.
Yeah, but you could just, like, breathe heavily and get tons of bounce out of that thing. Doesn't matter. So I can't really keep up with who's dating who in this movie. I keep it up with a lot, okay? But I can't keep up with who's dating who. And, like, the scene on the bridge shows Karen all touchy-feely with another friend until Shanil O'Kill shows up, and they're back at it on the couch a scene later. Like, is this just a universe where besties just understand that if someone's being real chummy with their significant other, that it really is just that?
I think so.
Thank you.
Yeah, anytime.
In-depth analysis here on Slashers and Screamers. Well, I don't really think so, though. Because,
Okay.
Todd takes his, not Todd, Terry takes his homeboy out with a shiv to the esophagus. Was it because he was getting too close to Karen? Or was it because he's absolutely fucking nuts? I don't know.
Could be both.
Could be a little bit of both. A good soup has more than one ingredient.
Seems like the nuts is brought on by the sex thing, so it seems like both to me.
Yeah, again, a male getting too chummy with a woman, and here comes Chenille O'Keel to wreck the day.
The dude hates sex.
What are you doing over there, James?
Okay.
Huh?
What are you doing over there?
I ain't doing nothing.
You sure?
Messing around with some audio,
TV?
James?
Huh?
Messing around with some audio over there, James? Trying to get a suit again? Freddie Loggins ain't gonna step in on this one.
That ain't Kenny Logan. That's
Well,
Bernie
you know what
Mac.
else? Well, you know what else is fucking nuts? When Chenille O'Keel turns on Karen, and he's about to take her out, and he's chasing her through the woods or the brush and over a bridge, but none of these scenes seem to coincide. Like, it goes from bridge to woods, like with no continuity. Did anybody else pick up on that?
It's like they're running from movie set to movie set.
Yeah. Like the other movies on break, and it's like, you know what, guys, we got to get this shit done. Let's just go over here on Deliverance and film there for a second.
Ugh.
Well, Chenille O'Keel is giving chase, finds Karen inside a neighbor's house, trying to, call those cops in. And he's got her cornered, just standing over with, machete in hand. But Karen gets away by delivering the slowest and most deliberate trauma to Terry's groin. And I dare you to find a more universally funny escape than a good trauma to the groin.
I couldn't begin to think of one.
No. But, it's a good laugh. But the laughs continue in this culmination, I guess, when Mom finally finds her fiance, Brad, old B-Rad, with his head propped up in his hands. She stands behind him, giving him, like, the synopsis of this entire movie in long form. Blood all over him, like, on him, on the wall. And she's just spilling it all, Finally, she touches him, and his head splits open like a cantaloupe, which I hadn't seen from the first scene, but I guess it did happen. But one thing's for sure, in this film, if a death happens off screen, it will be revisited later on. There was the neighbor with a crying baby, the doctor in the woods, and, now new stepdad. Nothing beat the dismembered body in the woods, though. Nothing. Like that, retroactively gets 5 slashes. Body parts all over the fucking place.
Yuck.
Rick, this is the one that you like so much. Doctor's cut in half, thirds.
Dude, it's freaking awesome. Like, it's like, even though you can tell that the body's too small for her character, that's one of the
Hang on, no. This was anatomically correct. I checked.
I don't think so.
It checks out.
Well, still, it's an awesome kill, though.
It's okay, I'm a doctor.
So.
Best kill in the movie that we didn't get to see.
Yeah.
But, it's main event time with Todd and Chenille O'Keel finally meeting. Well, they'd met once before, in a doorway. There was a scene we didn't even skim over. We didn't even cover it when Todd holds Terry's friend at gunpoint, has him take him to Terry. Todd points a gun at him and then turns around and runs away. So we didn't get really much anything after that, except for Terry going after him. But now they're face to face, okay? And this is a fight that would, make the Chuck Liddell, Randy Couture trilogy look like a slap fight. But an unlikely ending is seen as the mother, Maddie, comes in to shoot Terry in the chest and the head after a lengthy fight, killing him. But as she's consoling her son, Todd, she's telling him that she's here and it's just them again and how he's her world. She says, it's just us, Terry. Todd's gone. Believing that she had killed Todd, believing that she had killed Todd, he reveals his identity, resulting in, both of them crying out loud. Todd at the disappointment that his mother thought she was killing him, and Maddie at the fact that she'd killed Terry. Then, of course, the mother raises the same revolver she used to kill Terry and takes her own life. Roll
credits. But how is she going to be that good of a shot from all the way across the pool, and she hits him perfectly? I'm like, come on.
We don't know her personal history.
Yeah, that's what you found the most unbelievable?
Well, I mean,
that one girl was jogging without a bra for so long, and we have it on good authority, 2 good authorities, right, Casey, that this would never happen. Those things were...
No. You asked if I would do this. The answer is no. Women everywhere with women everywhere with different chests than mine probably go running without a bra on.
Yeah,
and it was the 82, so I'm sure they...
Yeah, but sports bras, listen, I am
Couple
under...
of them.
Yeah. Well, guys, I mean, that's the flick. That was Blood Rage. Rick, personally, I'm very happy with this film. I'm glad you dropped it on us, and thank you again, friend Steven, for bringing it to Rick's attention. I didn't come into this thing expecting much. I
didn't either, and I was surprised. I mean, pleasantly surprised for a movie that was filmed in '83, came out in '87, and I thought the music was good. And,
yeah, to sit on it for that long.
I don't know what the budget was, but to sit on, like you said, to sit on it that long. I mean, and wait that long.
Casey, final thoughts on Blood Rage?
I thought this movie was pretty solid. I was pleasantly surprised with it because, it looks a little low budget. It looks like it's got less going on. But, no, I thought it was pretty solid. Definitely had some enjoyable stuff. Pretty cool shit.
JB, I know you've got opinions. Drop them.
They're magically delicious. Anybody that likes this movie doesn't like cottage cheese. That's all I've got to say.
Billy likes cottage cheese, and he just expressed that he loves this movie.
Already debunked.
Bewildered by, I don't know what.
I don't know how to help you with this, James.
This movie was great. I loved it.
James didn't watch this movie.
I could watch it over and over again.
For the
first time. Yeah, thank you.
Tune in next week. Will he watch his own movie or will he not?
Oh, that is your next week. It's your...
Oh, my Lord. Audio is just burning up right there.
Ernest, Scared Stupid.
I think we've discussed this before.
I would watch Ernest Scared Stupid. Eartha Kitt's in that. Old Eartha Kitt.
That's not a horror movie.
Am I giving my pick out right now?
No, not yet, James. Not yet. We got to get Rick's final thoughts on fucking Blood Rage.
Let's hear it. What was the budget on this movie?
I don't know. I couldn't find one, but I mean,
a tub of cottage cheese.
For something that was released in '83, which was slashers were still kind of big. They weren't really. It was kind of tapering off, but I mean, by '87, people weren't as into them at all. And I think that's kind of crazy that they waited that long to release it in '87 because slashers were still popular, but they weren't like they were in 80, 81, 82. Because, I mean, by 87, you already had, Halloweens and Nightmare on Elm Streets and, a lot of other good films that came out way before then. But for a movie that, I don't know what the budget was, but I mean, for, no-name actors and actresses and the gore, I mean, I would give it a solid, 7 out of 10 for sure. I was really surprised, so.
When you taper your expectations and, you're not expecting The Godfather, you're not expecting Avatar, you know what to expect going in. I don't know how you don't walk away from this film saying, you know what, that was just a bad horror flick. Because it was absolutely a fun horror flick. And again, the only critique from me is knowing that there was a mistaken identity from the jump. If you don't know that, and then it's a twist at the end, goddamn, you've got a hell of a film on your hands. Possibly a more popular classic, in my opinion. But that is the only, and I can't talk enough about how much I love the music from this film.
It was great.
I mean, the music was quintessential '80s for that period, for sure. For horror films.
All right, Rick, what movie did you see that had the word quintessential in it where you got to use it tonight?
Nothing, I just dropped that out.
Damn, good job. Well, okay, we're going to wrap it up. So we need to know, James, what are we watching next week?
Yeah, James.
All right, Bill. The film that we're watching next week is Duel, D-U-E-L, 1971.
And what is this movie all about?
A mild-mannered electronic salesman is driving cross-country on a two-lane highway when he encounters an old oil tanker driven by an unseen driver who seems to enjoy annoying him with dangerous antics on the road. Unable to escape the demonic big rig, David finds himself in a dangerous game of cat and mouse with the monstrous truck. When the pursuit escalates to deadly levels, David must summon his inner warrior and turn the tables on his tormentor.
This is the directorial debut of Steven Spielberg.
That's right. Steven Spielberg directed this.
James?
What?
I believe you dropped a gem on us.
And
I've
what
not
is
seen
it
this.
Streaming on, James.
My dad used to make me watch this movie when I was little. So this could be considered another Tracy Brown Film Festival.
Thank you, Tracy. And, God, we ought to get him on the podcast to talk about it. No, we get canceled so quick. Well,
Talk about getting us canceled. Last
All
2
right.
minutes.
well, wait a minute. Where can we stream this film?
That's
Does
what I'm
anybody
looking
know?
up right now.
I got it on DVD.
We're all going to James's
Don't
house.
ever say something about Rick again.
I got it on 8-track tape, Bill.
Yeah, it says it's not available on any streaming service. You have to pay money to watch it.
Yeah, we
What
got
I wonder how much it is on Vudu.
$3.99
$3.99. Yeah.
To rent, not to buy. I mean to buy.
to buy. $14.99.
God damn it. Okay, it's a rental. James?
What is it?
Good on you, son. Good on you. All right, well, that's going to do it for this episode of Slashers and Screamers. For Final Girl Casey, the Memphis Menace Rick, and the Godfather of Droll James, I am Billy Graves. This was a Slashers and Screamers podcast. We will catch you in the game.